we would like to share our experience from the European trip with you and give you a few hints and tips which can be applied here in Australia. So we went there with Jana and Clara and myself, and we had such a great time. So to give you an idea where the Czech Republic is, it is actually in the heart of Europe. The size of the country is something like from Brisbane to Bundaberg. So you can imagine how large the country is. Hold on.
Sorry.
So
I'll just do it like this.
Basically, Czech Republic.
So there, yeah.
Czech Republic is of two parts, Bohemia and Moravia. In the middle is France, so no wonder that we are called Bohemians. And to give you some understanding about climatic conditions, in summer we can get 35 degrees, in winter we get minus 20. So the frost-free season is about 5 to 6 months only. Yeah, so it's completely different from here. So the countryside looks amazing. Yeah, the rolling hills, plenty of forests and wheat fields, just amazing. Plenty of lakes, so we have got huge amount of freshwater fish. We don't have sea fish because we are on the seaside. And look at these beautiful villages everywhere. It's just amazing. There is a huge amount of history behind, and we are really, really proud to be from that such a beautiful country. And the forests there are different from forests here. It's mostly pine, and a lot of stuff actually growing there. So here we go to the forest and see what we can find. So we can see pine trees, not a great deal of leaf trees, and off we go starting to foraging in the forest. So what we got here, we have got blueberries. You never tasted blueberries like that. Wild blueberries are just yummy, and they are everywhere. Yeah. So people actually come to the forest and picking them up. Also raspberries, amazingly sweet, and they are everywhere. And also mushrooms. So these are slightly different to mushrooms which are known here. And these have got really good taste. We cook them with eggs, and they are just delicious. Also dry them and use them in winter time. Yeah. So a lot of stuff growing in forests. So basically, you can live there for the whole summer. You wouldn't need to go to supermarket and buy food. Yeah, and that actually makes us thinking. Here in Australia, we basically don't know what we can eat, what we can forage on. While in Europe, it's still alive. Yeah, so we know what we can eat. And it is an old tree with acorns. And from these acorns, not only animals can eat them, but also you can make a coffee, like roasted acorns, which Stan introduced here a few months ago. You can actually buy this there, and it's organic, and the taste is amazing. Yeah. So everything can get utilized there. Also, when we were there from July till late July till the end of October, it was harvest season. So this is a wheat field, with a lot of rounded bales. But interestingly enough, about a week before harvesting, they sprayed it with Roundup to get rid of weeds after the harvest. And as we know, wheat actually acts as a sponge for all these pesticides and herbicides. So it's just such an awful thing to do, and it also shows what we are eating. Yeah. So we also have such a huge snails. Slugs. They are about 15-20 centimeters long, and there was an instance where there was an infestation of these slugs coming over the road. So basically the traffic had to be stopped because the road became slippery. And wait for these guys to go over and then back to normal. One lady asked me, I was picking them up from a garden, and she asked, what are you doing with these slugs? And I said, oh, we just make a goulash. So here we go. These were huge guys, and they would basically destroy the whole garden. Yeah. So this is actually my grandma's garden. With a lot of apple trees and flowers, which actually attracts bees. Again, you can see flowers everywhere, and it's really amazing to sit there and watch the nature, how it behaves. And here we go, greenhouse. So, as I mentioned before, we have got 6 months frost-free. For people to extend this period, especially in the springtime, they actually grow stuff in the greenhouses, so you can kind of start to grow even at the end of February, and you avoid this frost there, and it actually gives you longer growing period. So here you can see some cucumbers and capsicums. Yeah? My grandma told me you should always water stuff in a greenhouse with tempered water, rainwater. So don't get well or warm water cold and poor plants, or water plants is cold water. They don't like it. And also cucumbers like most watering at midday, when they really need this moisture up. Yeah? Here we go. And there is another interesting trick which is used. It's literally translated like a steam room. So basically what it is, it's like it's a garden bed. Yeah, where in the springtime we actually put windows, and these windows will keep heat or warm in, and during the day when it gets warmer, the windows would like tilt, and you can let air in, and in summer you basically take the windows out and you use it as a garden bed. So this could be quite easily applied in frost areas here around Brisbane, like the Granite Belt and these areas.
Was it working?
Can you move it?
It does sometimes. You pointed at the screen, it works actually.
It works. So this gives you an idea of the size of greenhouse and the other stuff. I always like the grandma garden and help her a lot to do stuff there. It's just amazing to be in the nature. And here we go. That's pumpkins, which are slightly different to pumpkins here. These are the yellow Halloween pumpkins. And interestingly enough, we actually steam them and preserve them, not as a picklings, but we add pineapple aroma. So when it's done, it tastes like a pineapple. Yeah. So it's like a compote thing. Really, really nice. And here we go. A pear tree.
Wow.
Just in the middle of the village. Yeah. And you can see how many pears is on a tree. Yeah. And nothing actually goes into waste. I'll tell you later on. And this is something we wanted to share with you. Not the beautiful flower, which I think is petunia or something like that, but this special pot. This pot we actually use not for growing flowers, but for sauerkraut. Basically, you put grated sauerkraut into the pot, press it, mix it with salt and a bit of caraway seed and onion, press it, and when it's filled up, you actually pour water in this rounded vat and put a bowl over that. So it acts as an airlock. So the pressure from the pot can go out, but nothing actually will get in. And basically, this is how we store sauerkraut for the whole winter time. So we don't put it in a freezer like here. Yeah? And this actually shows how people look after their front yards. A lot of flowers and also flowers in the windows everywhere. It's amazing. And here is a really old guy, goat, barely could walk, but he had plenty of entertainment around. Yeah. So people actually try to breed stuff and be self-sufficient. And here's another interesting picture. Not only these beautiful tomatoes growing, but also look at this greenhouse. This greenhouse was made from like 2 or 3 liters glass jars, yeah, putting upside down into wet render. So basically you create a structure. But what is the benefit of this is the actual thermal insulation of the air. So these greenhouses are mainly done in mountains when you have got really tough winters. So this actually will keep it even warmer than a single glass. Yeah? And here is another structure of greenhouse. It's funny looking, but a really important thing is in greenhouse in summer it gets bloody warm. So what's the way around it? It's actually lime paint which is applied on the glass and it provides a shade. Yeah? So this actually provides shade in summer, but as summer goes along, it slowly gets washed off. So when you come to autumn, it's again clean. Yeah? So that's a natural way how to provide a shade. And here's another interesting thing about recycling. Recycling in Czech Republic is everywhere. Every village would have these containers, one for white glass, one for dark glass, for cardboard, also for plastic, but you would usually also find cloth or fiber container and also batteries. Interestingly enough, I haven't seen a recycling container for batteries here in Australia.
Oldie.
Okay, thank you.
Only one.
Yeah, so it's amazing.
Battery wells.
Yeah. And actually these villages get paid for collection of this recycled material because it's a resource. Yeah. So we actually look at recycling in a completely different way. Yeah. And here we are at a garden of friends of ours in Moravia, and they have the most amazing garden. They are not full-time gardeners, they are pensioners, but the guy works full-time, so he doesn't have as much time. But look what they grow and how they grow it. So plenty of capsicums and tomatoes, also lettuce, which actually went to seed, and grapes. Moravia is a wine region, so grapes are growing everywhere. Really good wine, though. And look at this. Can you work out what that is? Salary, exactly. And now the tip. The tip is, if you want to get the big lump of celeriac, you have to peel off these leaves. So as it grows, just leave a few leaves there, and all the others just peel off. So that actually makes celeriac and make the lump. Yeah? And of course, chooks and here it's also interesting with chooks. Because you have frost, for half a year you wouldn't have the green stuff for chooks. So what people do, they collect stinging nettles, top from carrots, everything. They dry and they feed chooks over winter time with this dry green stuff. So look how lucky we are that we have got provision of green for us to grow the whole year here. Yeah? And you know, these were giant kohlrabis, really, really good. It's like a cabbagey taste. You can eat it raw, you can cook it, stir fry, everything. At the back there are some zucchinis growing. And what is the next slide? Look at these beautiful tomatoes. There isn't any issue with fruit flies in Europe. However, because the growing season is fairly short, the plants produce a huge amount of fruit, but sometimes it doesn't get riper. Yeah. Because as you go towards autumn, the temperature drops and they don't like it. So you might end up with half of the plant of green tomatoes, which would never get ripened. However, people actually make chutney and all this stuff. Try to utilize most of it. And here they had quite nice auction, and also utilizing the space between the trees with garden beds. And let's see what's there on the trees. The plums. These are I think sugar plums or whatever they are called here. Absolutely amazing. You know, you never tasted sugar plum like that. Yeah. And here actually nothing goes to waste because tree was basically covered with plums, and quite a lot of them dropped off as they ripen and so on. So, you know, look how beautiful they are. So they get actually collected. Yeah. And nothing goes to waste. So we picked several buckets and put it in a barrel. Yeah. And let's see what's happening. Any suggestions? Yeah, fermentation, good. Let's give it a bit of stir. Close it and see what will happen. Oh yes, plant brandy. So plant brandy, apricot brandy, it's all over the place there. Yeah. this is the guy's second garden. He actually built these sheds by himself, and there was a bit of space, and he thought, oh, what a waste of space, let's utilize it. So he just planted some green stuff, and you will see how it grows. You know, plenty of carrots and beetroot, and also look at the size of the beetroot. And it's not only one, it's all of them. Like, amazing. This is a slightly different type of beetroot, which is used for feeding animals or time. And another interesting tip, how to grow cucumbers on a trellis. But not vertical trellis, but slightly tilted. So the cucumbers are hanging from the back, and you can pick them from the other side. Yeah? Really good because cucumbers like this air movement, and if you want to avoid mildew and so on, that's the way. Yeah? And look at these carrots and potatoes. It just, these carrots were like, I am not exaggerating like that. Yeah, this round. Amazing. And he actually doesn't fertilize it at all. It's such a fertile soil there. Yeah. And this is really something special. I'm not sure whether people know this. This looks like a pumpkin, isn't it? But it's actually called pepita. So the pepita seeds you buy the green bits. They are from these pumpkins, so you don't need to peel the seeds. In the pumpkin, there's like a shelf, and then there is this like core of the seed. But these pumpkins produce already the peeled green seed.
Oh,
yeah. We wanted to get some sea sour, but because of quarantine, we didn't go for it. Okay? Again, potatoes growing in trenches, about 50-60 centimeters apart. Cover them up every now and again, and this was actually already the second crop of the year. Yeah. And this is rainwater tank, getting rainwater from the sheds, and because it's on a slope, it's actually gravity fed. And we also use this as a swimming pool. It's about 1.2, 1.5 meters deep, so not so bad. And yeah, so here we got some beetroot out, and look at the size. Just amazing, yeah. And he told us, oh, normal, nothing special. These are red radishes, but what is actually amazing about these red radishes is this name, Lada, like our daughter. Yeah, she's Lada. So we just took a photo of these seeds. And rose hips, wild rose hips, yeah, great source of vitamin C. People use them for a tea in winter time to get vitamins, and it's good when you get cold and so on. So really, really good. No point going to pharmacy and buy vitamin C tablets because they are artificial, and but we can digest this artificial vitamin C as well as the natural one.
They make a good jelly as well.
And look, veggie mushrooms! Look at the size of them. So we just took a photo of that. These are just wooden carved. Yeah? So we thought, good laugh. And another gardener we just met walking by the village, and quite a few interesting hints there. One of them, look at Can you see the spiral shape of the steak? So basically, it saves you to tighten up each tomato to the steak because it actually grows along the spiral steak. Okay? So it's a simple way how to save your time. And you can see, plenty of tomatoes and fruit trees there, but also strawberries. These strawberries are amazing. First, this lady actually don't put straw at the bottom of them, but she put special plates which actually keep the fruit above the ground and away from rotting. Yeah? But also, these strawberries were amazing in a way that they were green, yellowish. You will say, oh, not ripen, but if you eat them, you will say, oh, such a beautiful sweet taste. So, if you actually pick them blind, you wouldn't say the difference between this yellow or green strawberry and actually proper red strawberry. And underneath the eaves, people dry garlic and onion in bunches. So because there is a drought and not rain, so this is the way how can be dried. And this is another garden, an interesting trick. These are like small barrels which are linked up by a cable around, and it actually creates like a compartment. Yeah? Can you see that? So you utilize waste into making a garden bed. And this is another way how to grow cucumbers. It's actually on a black foil, but question is where to water them. Yeah, where is the root system of each plant? So that's why you have got here these plastic bottles cut, and it actually you water cucumbers through these bottles right to the root system of each plant. Yeah. So using stone wall for heat radiation to improve the growth of these tomatoes. And does someone know this plant? Any ideas? This is actually marijuana. Okay. So the reason I'm showing this picture, not that we would be like Bohemians, always flying somewhere, but there is an allowance of 5 plants per head per person. Yeah? So people growing not for drug reasons, like smoking, but for medicinal reasons. And you wouldn't believe how good these plants are. They make, so we shouldn't actually neglect this plant. And look at this beautiful pear tree tomatoes. Just amazing. The question is whether all of them will get ripen. Yeah? And sunflower with probably amazing. And this is another interesting plant. I think it's called Echinacea. Really good for flu and medicinal properties. Okay? And anyone would guess what this is? Walnut. Good. So look at the size of these walnuts. Okay? If I go further, we actually crushed one. And they are amazing. When they are amazing, when they are fresh, you peel off this skin, and they are beautiful. They are not sour, they are not bitter, just sweet. Okay, so this is a special willow. Yeah, it's a willow tree, but you can see that it's kind of like a special pattern on the trunk. And we have got Czech tradition at Easter time. When I exaggerate, we beat girls by wooden sticks, yeah, to give them energy and health for the whole year. In other words, these willows represent the spring energy coming out. Yeah? And guys actually knit from willow branches these rods, and they wipe girls overboard with them. Yeah? So this is a tradition. Look, it's not about violence. It's like a tradition, and when the guys are doing their jobs, they have to sing a crow, and as a reward for the service, they get a ribbon at the end of the stick, but also colored eggs. Yeah, and eggs again, there is an abundance of eggs in the springtime. Yeah, so it's a tradition. It's not about violence. And interestingly enough, girls are actually demanding this service from us. Yeah. Here we go. So another garden, amazing thing. These ducks. From small ducklings to oven plate in 2 months. Yeah, they grow amazingly, and people grow a lot of rabbits there. To give you an idea about the rabbit size, it's called Belgian giant. And it's like a small pig. It's about 15 kilos. Yeah? So, amazing. In here are some special things hanging on a tree. These are concrete blocks. Yeah, and it is used as a weight to shape the branches. Yeah, so these blocks are actually made pouring concrete into a coffee cup. Yeah, so look at the tree. These blocks are everywhere, also between some apples. Yeah? So it's another way how to shape your trees. And this is a building style in the mountains, like a chateau type. Yeah, beautiful style. Wooden structures, really warm inside. Usually we have a campfire and so on. And here is more greenhouses and the lime paint. They're shading during the summer. Yeah. Just everywhere you look at each garden, it would have a greenhouse. It's essential. Okay, so here is a special tree. We'll show you in detail. And Ellie, guess what that is.
They're currants.
They look like blueberries, aren't they?
They're not red colour or black colour, are they?
These are chokeberries.
Oh, chokeberries.
Yeah? Amazing. They can be either red or blackish. Beautiful fruit. Okay?
Do they come on the
saying will stem like the cherries have or not?
Yeah. It's like a bunch of them, usually of 12 or something like that. So look at the tree. You know, it's obviously grafted, so huge trunk and then the grafted tree. And here's another interesting few photos. How people growing stuff in the cities. Basically, in cities there were allotments. Someone would call it dachniks, like in Russia. And so they would have like a small house there where they can stay either during the day or over summertime, and they would grow all the stuff there. So people would live in summer and get to the allotment and grow stuff there. Yeah? And look, you know, abundance of fruit and vegetable there. It's just amazing. Yeah, just click through. Oh, another greenhouse. It's a beautiful lime bank. And this is in my grandfather's backyard, so he keeps pigeons, but also he actually keeps chooks. Yeah? Nowadays, most of the households would have chooks. Some people would actually have chooks even on their balconies. Yeah? That's how serious they are. And guess what that is?
Potatoes.
To start with, it's a pile of rubbish, like concrete leftovers. Okay? So these are actually potatoes. Okay? So it shows that they can grow more or less in a concrete. Yeah? But the reason I'm showing this picture is slightly different. Because in Europe you can actually drove our car on biofuel, on ethanol, which is actually derived from potatoes. Yeah? And what is more amazing thing about that is that it's actually 85% of ethanol and just 15% of petrol. Here you get 10% of ethanol and 90% of petrol. So it's the other way around. Okay? So some of the cars would drive or would run on this mixture without any problem. Some of the car needs adjustment of computer of the car. Okay? So that's how serious Europe is about biofuel and all these things. And also, this is a picture of my father rally car. So basically, its car is called Lada. It's a Russian car. Yeah? So our daughter Lada has got her own car, and actually with her name and flag. Yeah? So here we go. And this is actually the last slide of the presentation. The word is ahoy, which actually is international. It means hello or goodbye in Czech, and it's also used on the ships when they greet each other. Okay? Ahoy. So now if someone asks you, do you know Czech? You can say, of course, ahoy. Alright, so that's I think the end of the presentation. And if you've got any questions, do we have any time for?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah? Any questions?
noticed some of the leaves had holes in them. What do they use for pesticide or herbicide?
Especially on potatoes, we have got a beetle which can eat the whole tomato. It's called American something here. Yeah, and we don't have it really here, but there are huge issues, so people actually collect them by hand or spray them with pesticides. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Those gardens that you showed, houses, are they the gardens that are along the railway lines where they're using the unusable land?
Yeah. Or where the city actually makes like an area for development.
Like
So,
community gardens, sort of.
kind of, but every person would have, I don't know, something like 300 square meters. Yeah. So, yeah.
British allotment.
One over here.
Yeah.
One over here.
If you're showing lovely root crops like these carrots, beetroots, of course you have to say something about the soil type. You have to tell us what kind of soils they grow in.
I think that they like heavier soil. Yeah. And here we actually apply a lot of seed to produce larger beetroot, but then it just seems to grow. It's not as hot, so it's better climate there. And actually they like a lot of water.
It's also very young. So
Yeah, that's what I remember. Any more questions? Okay.
Thank you very much, Roman, for that.
Can I make an announcement? This Sunday, we actually having open garden day, walking open garden day in our place, because last time a lot of people couldn't make it, and they were really curious about our garden. So you are more than welcome to come, and we will show you how we live, how we grow stuff. Some of you could see the garden in Australia, but there is much more to show and tell, so you wouldn't be disappointed if you come. Yeah? So I think it's from 2 o'clock onwards.
What's the address?
I can vouch for the interest in...
What's the
sorry.
address?